Christian Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents How to Read a Room, Navigate Any Situation, Lead with Confidence, and Create an Impact at Work by Dr. Mike Bechtle. Narrated by Dr. Mike Bechtle. To Kezia. You enter every room, then you brighten it. Nobody lights up the room like you. Introduction. I'm surprised I didn't get fired. After grad school, I landed my first real job, teaching at a small college in Arizona. I knew the subject well, but I didn't have much experience in the classroom. I just figured I could stand up front and tell them what I knew. My job was to teach. Their job was to learn. If they didn't learn, their grades would reflect their lack of effort. It was their problem, not mine. Whenever I entered the classroom, I tried to read the room. I always saw two groups of students. One group was already excited about the topic and couldn't wait to learn. They made my job fun because they brought their excitement and energy into the classroom every day. They probably would have learned the subject whether I showed up or not. Then I would see the other group, those who were indifferent about the subject but needed to pass in order to graduate. They made my job challenging because each class session seemed like an unavoidable delay in their day. They were committed to doing the minimum possible amount of work to pass, assuming they would never use the subject in the real world. In my first few years of teaching, I focused on the first group. I figured that my energy should go to those who made the effort. I mostly ignored the others, believing they didn't care and wouldn't do well in the class. Then I had a paradigm shift and learned to read the room differently. It came during an informal discussion I had with some friends over dinner one night. We started talking about the best and worst teachers we'd experienced in school. Everyone agreed that the worst teachers were the ones who didn't care if we learned what they were teaching or not. They were just experts who expected us to listen, take notes, and memorize the details of the topic. Their whole focus was on the content, not on us. The best teachers were those who were so passionate about the subject that they leaked enthusiasm. They knew that if we could catch the vision of what that knowledge would do for us, it would become contagious, and we'd be motivated to learn on our own. They cared deeply about all their students, and they believed their role was to be a catalyst, not a dictator. They would light the fuse, and we would catch on fire. Previously, I'd followed the normal way of entering and reading a room. Look around, make assumptions about what's going on, believe those assumptions, and fend for myself. I wasn't trying to make a difference in the room. I was concerned primarily with myself. I needed to survive and feel okay in that environment. During that meal, I came to realize I wasn't just in that classroom for myself. I was there for other people, all of them. I needed different lenses to read that room. Sure, I wanted to feel comfortable, but I also wanted to feel confident that I could make a difference. That's why I was there. Not just so the students would see me as a good teacher, but would become better people because we got to spend time together. From that point on, I became passionate about reading the room so I could impact my students' lives. It was my chance to move from the worst teacher list to the best teacher list by looking outward instead of just inward. Once I learned how easy it would be to adopt this new paradigm, my whole career turned the corner. From that moment on, I shifted from insecurity to impact. And so can you. Chapter 1. Why It Matters. Most people don't wake up in the middle of the night wishing they knew how to read a room. They worry about having enough money to pay for that unexpected car repair, or about the details of a project they're in charge of, or the poor choices a family member is making. Such thoughts are always about fear or pain or what could go wrong, not about what could go right. To make it worse, everything seems exaggerated in the middle of the night, right? Fears are more frightening, pain is more painful, and family situations seem hopeless. Learning to read a room isn't usually a big concern for us.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?